Rivals brought to you by Utah Ice Centers has arrived, and we are going to the NFL. Who's going to win next year? Because we know the answer right now, or at least there's a few teams that look like they might be headed in the right direction with the onset of free agency. You know, before we get into this, Jason, free agency was really odd this year. It kind of came and went like Thanksgiving dinner. You know, there's all this big hype and preparation, and then you sit down and eat the meal, and it's over with. And
it's over.
And that's kind of how free agency was. So.
I agree.
Big moves. The biggest move was Kirk Cousins going to Minnesota, but he wasn't the first guy or the second guy or even the third guy to go, but he certainly got paid. Does this help out the Minnesota Vikings?
And you and I did not play in the right time. I look at that money going. I tell my wife the other day about Kirk Cousins' contract, and she's like, "What?" I mean, I'm getting my big $180,000 my rookie year. But you know, I was really happy for him, honestly. And I think it was a great.
You really
move.
weren't happy for him.
Yeah.
No, you really
yeah,
weren't.
get
you
the money.
Because you're like, no, but you're like, be honest with me, okay? All right, tell the truth right here.
Well, I am.
I know
happy
we've
for
gone
him.
down a rabbit hole right now, which is okay.
That's okay.
We're going to do that. So, do you really mean that you're happy for him, or do you really mean, man, I would wish I was in his shoes 100% of the time? Because I'm indifferent to it. I'm not happy for him. I'm not sad for him. I'm just like, because I was a free agent just like him. My free agent contract was 3 years just like him.
Yeah.
I got a $5 million signing bonus, and it was $11.5 million.
But at the time, it was the record setter.
Oh, people were just up
Everybody's
in arms.
going
They're
crazy
like,
about Scott Mitchell back then.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I hate that guy, or that guy's not worth that, or how could they give that guy $5 million?
We could do a whole show on me, first round draft pick, 17th player picked overall, going into Cincinnati and coming in the locker room, and the speech I got from some of the veterans. Like Reggie Williams was the worst. I mean, he took me, hey, Buck, man, let me give you a ride in the car down to the hotel. And I'm like, I'm a rookie. And I'm like, sure, you know, this is this veteran. He's going to be really nice to me and give me a ride to the hotel, you know, between practices. And I'm like, oh, no, it was just to chew my butt. It was to tell me how, you know, I'm getting all the money that the veterans should get, and they didn't get paid, and I'm getting paid too much, and you're not going to get respect from me, and da-da-da-da. I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was my first camp at the Bengals. But he was so ticked about that salary I was getting, and he'd been playing like 10, 11 years in the league, and it was $180,000.
So are you still happy for Kirk Cousins then? After this short
yeah,
conversation?
you know what? I believe in the free market system and supply and demand, and if the money's out there in football, you know, you get out there and you drive the best, you know, price you can get out of it, because you only have the average career is 3.5 years. Now quarterbacks, you know, play longer generally, and he's gonna have a great long career. But you sacrifice your body, and you know what? That much money's out there. Hey, go get what you can get.
You're a Vikings fan.
Yes, from the time I was
Vikings
a little boy.
Go to the NFC Championship game and lose.
Yeah.
And now with Kirk Cousins, are they a favorite to win the Super Bowl next year?
I would definitely put them in my top 4 picks going for the Super Bowl next year. I think Cousins is a great pick. You know, you and I have talked about it. I was coaching as an intern at the Redskins when they made the decision to go with Kirk Cousins over RG3. It was very obvious to me and the other NFL interns that were there, you know, that Cousins was the guy.
The better guy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, right before it all, you know, came out public. And I think he's a good pick for Minnesota. I think he's going to take him to another level.
All right, what about Case Keenum and the Denver Broncos? Does that make them a contender now?
Nah, they're not where Minnesota is, I don't think. I mean, does it help them? Yes. But you know, Minnesota was just that they had that one piece they needed.
I don't know, Denver.
The one piece.
Everyone kind of felt like Denver just needed a quarterback to get on track. I mean, that was what they've got, that great defense. They were in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago and won it with the defense, and they've just really fallen off the map offensively and with you know, the quarterback position, Peyton Manning, you know, retiring, and some of the other guys, Brock Osweiler, not working out, and.
Yeah, and they lost. No, it definitely good. I wouldn't pick them, and you know, up there with Minnesota, but close on it. But you're right, they're great defense. I love Denver's defense.
What about Alex Smith? So Alex Smith is not a free agent, but kind of is, and so he goes to the Redskins now, and
my Redskins.
Is that a good thing for the Redskins, you
know
think?
What, I think it is, because I think there was something funky there, you know, that only the inner office at the Redskin knows about, you know, and Gruden, of course. and there was some personality conflict or something that just wasn't right, with Cousins in the office and the coach, or else you wouldn't lose him. Like it just wouldn't have come together the way it did. With the two the franchise picks, the 1-year deals in a row, there's just something that wasn't right. So you bring
it certainly felt that way to me as an outsider, and I never really saw anything in him that said, "Oh yeah, this guy can really carry a franchise," kind of guy. Which is what makes me excited about Cousins going to the Vikings. I don't think he has to carry that team. I think he can. I think he can be who he is. Doesn't have to do more than he is and do well, but
yes.
But here's the thing, and a lot of people with Alex Smith. Right?
I like the Alex Smith pick for the Redskins.
I think Alex Smith is more of a guy that could carry a team. Yes, I really do, and I think Alex, he's got this label as he's a guy that manages a game, and I think Kirk Cousins is more of a game manager. Alex Smith can throw the football. Alex Smith's a sharp guy. Yep. He'll come in. He'll do well. He may be a better fit, I think, for the Redskins.
Right?
No question. There, you gain that experience over time, and you walk into a situation new, and you go, "Yeah, I've seen all of this stuff before. I've been through all of it." He's certainly weathered his storms well as a player, and they saw something in Alex Smith. They knew something was there. So I really like Alex Smith.
I did too.
Okay, here's another one.
I think it's a great move for the Redskins. I think all those, that was good for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, and I think the Redskins make the right decision for them. I think it's going to be good for both organizations.
What about the New Orleans Saints? So they re-signed Drew Brees, because I thought Drew Brees might be a good short-term solution for the Vikings or for the Broncos, where they're really close right now. They're really close to winning a Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden they go in and they have this seasoned guy that's maybe got a couple of years left in the tank, but he's
perfect. Well, like Manning came into Denver and got him a Super Bowl, right? Yeah. It's the exact same thing. Brees would have been a great one for both those organizations.
But he stays in New Orleans, and New Orleans was right there too. I mean, they should have played for the NFC Championship game, other than the fluke. The play just kills me to this day. Marcus Williams and the whiff on the tackle on the last play of the game.
Yes.
So they're a close team too.
They're really close, and you don't change that. I mean, they were one of the best teams in the NFL last year. I think the management at New Orleans did the right thing by staying with what they have, because when you're that close, it's just that one play, right? It's that one play that gets you the Super Bowl, that gets you the NFC AFC Championship, and they're right on the cusp. So you keep the formula, and I think you ride out Brees until you retire him.
So what do you do if you're Philadelphia? You have a guy who won a Super Bowl for you. Like, he can win a Super Bowl because he's done it, right? Yeah. And you have this great talent in Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And he was having an MVP season before he got injured. Is he a guy, do you keep Nick Foles around because it's always that, if Carson Wentz just kind of plays just a little off, you go, hey, put Foles in because we know he can win, or I just wonder if that dynamic will play out well, if they keep him there, or if he should be the guy and they should get rid of Wentz. I know people are like, no, you never do that.
Dude,
it's about winning and winning Super Bowls, and right now, and Nick Foles proved that. I think, to me, that's going to be one of the most intriguing things that happens this next season.
I agree.
The Super Bowl hangover kind of thing, and everyone's out to get you now. You have that target on your chest. And you guys that have won it.
And you have this crazy offseason and everything.
Right.
With
and they say that it's so hard to win the next year a Super Bowl.
It is. Your schedule's tougher, and you've had that crazy offseason with all everything that comes with winning the Super Bowl. But I agree. I think the trade for Alex Smith to Washington and the move for Cousins to Minnesota, those were easier decisions for those organizations. I would hate to be in Philadelphia's shoes with Foles doing such a great job and winning the Super Bowl, but yet Carson Wentz really got him there, or he's just having a great year getting him up to that point, and he'd made that decision to have him be their guy.
But you don't know how he's going to handle the playoffs.
Yeah,
he
wasn't the older veteran.
He never got to play in the playoffs, and so does he win those games, or does he just kind of, because it's a different season in the playoffs.
And do you reward Foles and be loyal to him for what he did, and then shelf this young, superstar that you're going to build the whole franchise around? I mean, they had the hardest decision to make in the NFL.
No one talks about this no one talks about the Nick Foles thing. Everyone was talking about, well, you know, we'll get rid of him or we'll keep him or whatever, but no one ever talked about, you know, what the consequences are of keeping him and what that means to this team down the road.
And what's their relationship between Foles and Wentz? I mean, is there a real is it real amiable? Or is there a real rift and a rivalry that's hidden behind the scenes?
Most quarterbacks get along with each other. They really do. I mean, there's kind of an unwritten respect because it's such a hard position to play, and you're under so much pressure. But there's also this unwritten "I want your job" thing.
We can competitor and all of us want that job. Yeah.
You know, there's more than one defensive lineman in a game. There's only one quarterback, and that's it. And it's not a thing where you go, hey, I'm gonna play a series or I'm gonna play 10 plays and then I'm gonna rest, because you get rest in a game. You come out of a game by design. Quarterbacks never come out of a game unless. So you never get a play if you're the backup guy, and you just sit there chomping at the bit. You know,
so can Wentz be the Steve Young behind Joe Montana for 4 years and be patient, and then still have another 10 years, you know, after that? Because a great quarterback can stay healthy and play 15 years.
So there's some young quarterbacks in the draft. There were certain teams that kind of stayed out of the free agency market. Teams like the Jets, the Buffalo Bills are going to be in the hunt for a quarterback. Probably the New York Giants will probably want to pick up a guy because of Eli being older. Of course, Cleveland, it's kind of they're the first pick in the draft again, and they usually pick a quarterback that doesn't work out for them.
Yeah. So don't go to Cleveland.
So that's another interesting dynamic that's going to unfold this offseason, and who's going to be the next Carson Wentz or the next Jared Goff, because Jared was, you know, he was the first pick in the draft, and in his first year, everyone said he's a bust. You know, he's not going to play, but played very well last year. And there's some pretty good talent coming in. So that to me is another intriguing story that's going to unfold. Which one of these young guys is going to come in and get in the right situation? Because Jared Goff initially was in a bad situation with Jeff Fisher, and then it switched when McVay became the coach, and they just got the right fit for him. And of course, Carson Wentz went to probably the perfect place for a young quarterback to go and be developed. And so it'll be interesting to see which guy goes where and how the support staff, the coaching staff behind him plays a part in their success or failure.
Yeah, I think the NFL is going to be so much fun to watch next fall.
It really is. I'm super excited about it already.
And the Rams and, you know, just Jacksonville, all these up-and-comers, and then little switches in the offseason just to get a Denver back up on top. I mean, I think it's going to be a very exciting year.
And, you know, as I've thought through this, and I want to ask you this really quick, but I'm going to tell you what my thought is first. I really like the New Orleans Saints next year. I really do. I think they were really close. They got a really good defense. Drew Brees doesn't have to be the superstar that he was, and he's playing at a high level. And I think they have something to prove. They know they should have been there. And when you have those young defenses, that they're just going to get better this year. Yeah. And I think the passing of Tom Benson, the owner, will have this added incentive for them. It's kind of one of those unwritten motivations for teams to go out and kind of win one for their owner who passed away. I have a good sense. Of course, I had a good sense about Virginia winning the NCAA. Man, what the heck do I know?
What the heck do we know? Yeah. But you know, with that, my dark horse that for next year that could surprise us, and it'll depend on the quarterback, because they gave up Alex Smith. But I think, you know, Andy Reid always does a great job, and there's a reason that he made that move, and, you know, he had belief in going with the next guy, and that's what was his name, the quarterback that came in for Smith in the playoffs.
Mahomes.
Yeah, to go with him. I think Kansas City, they could get it. You know, Randy Reid got the Super Bowl before. They could be a dark horse in this next year.
Yeah, that's a good pick. So, all right, well, Rivals has arrived, and now it's time to go. Text Rivals to 65537. Go to all those social sites and like us. And, of course, I know you're smart and you have one of those smartphones. Push your podcast button, type in Rivals. There we are. Until then, we will catch you soon.
A good long.